Indian skipper Virat Kohli and company have taken a dig at broadcasters after DRS Gaffe, in fact, saves Dean Elgar in the final test against South Africa in Cape Town. And they have said that the whole country, in fact, are against the 11 guys and that better ways must be found to win the game. My colleague Gaurav Gupta now joins me on the broadcast. Gaurav, it's a very, very angry Team India because first it was a leg before wicket decision that the umpire went ahead and gave. It was a clear out, but then Dean Elgar got ahead to review that entire decision and not out.
Absolutely, Gaya. Very good morning to you and all our viewers. It seemed to be an extremely unfair decision, because that looked plumb out, and it was very surprising for everyone that the ball was, seemed to be going over the stumps when we saw the replays. So it seemed pretty unfair. But the reaction of the Indian players, as Mr. Sean Pollock, the former South African all-rounder turned commentator, said later during the telecast, that the reaction was a bit of the Indian players was a bit over the top. Perhaps it could have been a bit toned down, to go on the stump mic for the captain and to say something, about the telecasters, and for Ashwin and Rahul to say things that they did. I thought it was slightly out of order, but then, one can understand their frustration also, because it seemed to be a very poor, sort of decision, or sort of replay. I mean, that ball looked to be hitting the stumps. If that wasn't LBW, the law should be scrapped, according to me. It looked that plumb. I know that the South African wickets are bouncy. The wicket at Cape Town is a bit bouncy, but then still the ball looked to be pretty much looking adjacent to the stumps and looked to be hitting the middle of middle. So that was a bit sad to see, and I think. But the issue again here is that the Hawkeye is an independent body. This whole technology is independent, and I still do. I mean, I don't know. The telecasters would be biased towards the home team. How much of that is also true? This allegation by the Indian players to play this whole victim card, I don't think it's fair. You should not allow a decision to get to you to the point that you lose focus on the test match, and you create an unnecessary controversy around it. What has happened, and you should have perhaps tried to move on faster than vent your frustration out.
Absolutely. Okay, and Gaurav, the fact that you mentioned, actually mouthing their resentment to the stump mic, and not just Virat Kohli over there, Ashwin also. And this has been replayed over and over again on social media, with fans clearly divided on the kind of, exchanges that happen, because it's called the gentleman's game. And like you rightly said, this was a little bit over the top, but fans probably would not agree to that.
See, my point is that the first time that that someone has not been given out or been given out by the umpires or by the technology, which hasn't been fair, don't the umpires give poor decisions at times? When the batsman shows dissent, then he or she is fined. So similarly, this was a case where it was a poor decision on a poor outcome of a review. But then you need to hold on to your cool. And this is also now a test for the ICC to see how stringently they implement their laws when it comes to player behavior. But then here you have 4-5 players in the Indian team who have sort of gone over the top and reacted in a manner which perhaps they should not have going forward. But then it also shows that how much frustrated they were, and perhaps this was a build up. This was building up. As Virat said that try and focus on your team as well. And don't look at our bowlers shining the ball all the time. Is perhaps a fallout of what happened in 2018 in the Cape Town test, where the South African pacers were found to have been doctoring the ball. The Australian fast bowlers were found to have been tampering the ball. So perhaps after that the cameras have become more vigilant towards visiting teams, which is again not in the right spirit of things, because you don't expect that means you're expecting the other person to cheat, which again is not fair. So if these issues were there, then they could have been taken officially by the BCCI in a formal complaint by the Indian team. But then to react like that, right there and then, and to play this victim card is not fair, because this can happen anywhere. This could have happened in Australia. This could have happened in in England, anywhere. So when you travel, you all are ready to face the conditions. You're ready to conquer everything. You're also ready to put aside poor decisions by the rival umpires and the whomsoever it may be. I mean, now crowd is not there. What if the crowd was there and somebody
Absolutely.
would have misbehaved in the crowd? So I think the Indian team needs to, when you tour a country, you need to conquer everything, and you need to move beyond it, and sort of register your supremacy and keep your focus on winning the game. Which is a fact. I mean, there are more important issues than this. The Indian batting is in the pits right now, so I think that needs to be looked more seriously than one decision which went against you because the technology messed it up. Yes, the technology messed it up. You complained formally to
Absolutely.
SuperSport and to Cricket South Africa, but move beyond it, because there are other issues to be seen as well. There's a series to be won. Most importantly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gaurav Gupta, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. So a DRS Gaffe ended up saving Dean Elgar, Virat Kohli and company. Absolutely not happy about it, because this is the series decider that we are in fact talking about.